keeping a tight end in, or using a back to stay in, or sliding the line, or quick game, or screens, any of those types of things. It's always kind of in the game plan, and then you just kind of tailor it to what you're seeing from them and how we can best attack them to try to create explosive plays.
Coach Lubick was saying one thing that's impressed him about Herbert is how calm he can stay under pressure. Have you seen that out of Justin?
Yeah, he's the same guy every play. I mean, he throws a pick, and he throws a touchdown. It's kind of the same guy the next play, which is a big deal, and I think it kind of reassures everybody and gives everybody confidence in him. But and I'm sure it's not that way on the inside, but it's the kind of the what he shows to everybody on the outside.
Is that what gives you confidence about potentially starting a guy against one of the best defenses in the nation?
Yeah, I mean, basically it's who's going to give us the best chance to go out and be successful and win the football game, and then we have complete confidence in whichever guy it ends up being.
Have you noticed a difference at all in chemistry with Drew Coppin, some of the wide receivers, versus Herbert and some of the wide receivers? No, Darren Carrington has been very open that he loves the balls that Herbert gives him in particular.
Well, really, it's very similar. I mean, because doing even before this week, our receivers rotate so much and everything. I mean, Darren was going he'd end up with the twos to run those same reps and everything. So I think he has a real good feel for Justin, and Justin throws a very catchable ball and throws a really good deep ball and has a good feel for the game and kind of the space around him. So I think he does a really good job distributing the football and everything, and just building up that, doing it over and over and over again is what we got to continue to work on.
I know you guys say you want the guy who can execute the best, but just looking at the type of quarterbacks that they are, does Justin maybe bring something to the table that Dakota doesn't?
Well, I think Dakota's run game does a really good job. Justin's done a good job understanding it, and we're going to be able to use him as a threat in the run game, but probably not as big of a focal point on that as we've done with Dakota in certain games with certain situations. Dakota throws a really good deep ball. I think Justin does that too. They both have really good timing. I mean, throwing on the move with some of the nakeds we've done, Dakota's excelled at that. Justin does that well in practice. We just haven't done that in the game with him yet. Done in scrimmages. So there's a lot of the similarities in the position, but each guy has their strengths and certain plays that they feel most comfortable about, and we kind of make sure that's on the game plan.
Coach, 5 weeks ago you said there is a substantial gap between the two quarterbacks. How much has that gap closed today?
Oh, I mean, quite a bit. I mean, Justin's done a good job, and that's a little bit of him working so hard during the season to continue to get better and to improve. With only coming in, not being a mid-year guy, not coming in early, I mean, doing the summer stuff, but two-a-days every week, him doing stuff against new defenses, running our plays, it just added to his thing, so he's continued to kind of progress at a pretty high rate, which has really excited us.
How much did Justin's performance on Saturday against Washington State maybe influence of, hey, maybe we should open this thing up a little bit more, or was that not really a factor at all for
well, I'm sure it went into our thought process because he went in and he showed so much poise and everything that kind of gives you confidence in that. But I don't know if it would have, that's going to be a deciding factor, or it kind of made this. If we wouldn't have done that at the end of the game, I think this could have still been a situation just with how he's been practicing lately and the discussions we've had as a staff.
If it's this close, why wouldn't you just go with the younger guy?
Coach, that's a good question for Coach Helfrich.
Coach, we talked so much about ones and twos, starters and backup. How are threes and fours? Is there still good competition? Because you're always one bad situation from somebody needing to move up.
Well, basically what we do right now is Terry's with us all the time. We try to get him as many reps as we can without diluting it for the top two guys at this time and everything. And then really the other guys are all now down working the scout team to get our defense prepared, and they sit in all the meetings so they understand what we're doing in the game plan, but their job is more to prepare the defense as best as they can for the opponent we're going to see.
What would the scenario be for Terry to get into the mix, or is he just so far behind the other two guys?
He's behind, and then with the amount of reps that we've kind of given the other two, and once you get in the season, it's just limited because otherwise you run your receivers into the ground, and your defense needs good players down on their end, so you send guys down there to give them a good look. So, I mean, you kind of get to a two-horse race is kind of what once you get in the season.
Anything else? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.